Good afternoon, children. Today we are going to start with the extraction of copper from copper oxide. Extraction of copper from Cu2O and extraction of zinc. Extraction of zinc from zinc oxide. Zinc oxide. So we already discussed extraction of iron from hematite ore. Now we are going to start with extraction of copper. This is the extraction part. Already we completed the concentration part. The extraction of crude metal from its ore part, iron over. Now we are going to start with the extraction of copper from copper ore, extraction of zinc from zinc ore. First, I am going to reminder the Ellingham diagram. In the Ellingham diagram, the copper oxide here, copper oxide moving like this, Cu2O plus carbon gives Cu plus CO. This reaction taking place in the Ellingham diagram. See, the carbon plus oxygen gives carbon dioxide, gives energy delta H, a temperature here. So in the Ellingham diagram, the copper is present at the top of the diagram. So from that I have explained these metal oxides are highly unstable and can easily reduced by the suitable reducing agent. Here the carbon is present at the bottom, so it can easily reduce the copper oxide. That is important. Okay. Delta G versus temperature curve tells about this the thermodynamic relations. At the top, metal oxides are highly unstable, so they can easily reduce by suitable reagents, reducing agents. At the bottom, the more reactive metals form strong bond with oxygen, so they cannot reduce that much because one more reason is in the electrochemistry you can see the EMF electromotive force value of active metals like magnesium, aluminium, calcium, iron, etc. They have higher EMF than the passive metals. What are the passive metals? Like copper, silver, gold, platinum, etc. They have the EMF value is not negative. On the active metals have negative EMF. You see the EMF table in the electrochemistry. The active metals have more negative electromotive force, so that's why they are highly reactive with oxygen. So we have to reduce that metal oxide is difficult, but we have to apply more temperature for reducing that oxide. Here the copper oxide are unstable because of they have positive EMF value is positive. Copper is plus 0.34. That is why the EMF value is positive, so can easily reduce by suitable reducing agent. That and all we discussed. Now I am going to tell about what are the ores of copper. Now copper in the form of copper glands, Cu2S, cuprite in the form of Cu2O, copper pyrites in the form of CuFeS2, and malachite in the form of CuCO3, CuOH twice, azurite, 2CuCO3, CuOH twice. So these are the ores, oxide ores, sulfide ores, hydroxide ores present in the copper. So from that ore, the question is removing the impurity from copper oxide, and finally you get crude metal of copper. So now I am going to tell about the things, reactions of copper oxide. First, copper in the form of copper glands should be roasted in presence of oxygen to form copper oxide plus sulfur dioxide. Suitable Cu2S plus 3O2 gives Cu2O plus S2SO2. We can write like this: Cu2S plus 3O2 the roasting roasting in presence of air, it will give Cu2O plus 2SO2. This is the final product, sulfur dioxide gas. After you get the copper oxide can be reduced by coke. Coke reduces and it will give 2Cu plus CO. This will be the precipitated molten copper. This and all, this type of reaction, similar type of reaction we learned in the extraction of iron also, right? So this is the roasting process taking place. First, crude copper sulfate is reduced, the oxidized in presence of roasting. High temperature, copper oxide is formed. Copper oxide can be reduced, is highly unstable, so it can easily reduced by suitable coke. Coke is used. All these things explained in the iron extraction. Copper can reduce the oxygen from this copper. It will give copper molten iron. So, okay, now I am going to tell about one more thing. If copper containing iron impurities, let us take the example CuFeS2. It is also ore of copper. Copper containing iron impurities. How can we remove that iron impurity? We can remove the iron impurities by mixing it with silica. Flux. Iron oxide is acidic in nature. Iron oxide is acidic in nature, where the flux silica, iron oxide is basic in nature. Metal oxide is basic in nature. Silicon dioxide, non-metal oxide is acidic in nature. It will give the flux. Slag. What is slag? Slag is a mixture of solid waste containing earthy impurities and the metal impurities. Metal impurities plus siliceous impurities, both are called slag. See, FeO plus SiO2 gives FeSiO3. This is called slag. So slag is formed. The slag is formed from the iron impurities. So slag will be formed and can be removed as solid waste. Now I am going to draw the diagram related to this question. See, I am using Bessemer converter. This is given in the textbook. Bessemer converter. What is the work of Bessemer converter? Bessemer converter, it is lined with silica lining. It is made up of silica lining. Okay. So here molten iron connected with pipe. Stand is there. Stand to hold the Bessemer converter. This is heating. Sand plus ore, sand plus hot air are passed in this converter. Then here waste gases coming out. Waste gases coming out. This is called molten copper crude metal, and in the top slag is formed. Siliceous impurities, slag. In the top slag is formed. So this is similar to the extraction of iron. This is called the Bessemer converter. Silica lined wall. This is lined with silica. Silica is a semiconductor, so it can withstand high temperature. So silica lined wall, and this is called your Bessemer converter. It is used for removing the impurities, copper impurities. The silica line. First, I have to add copper pyrites. Let us take copper pyrite. I have to add. I increase the temperature at a particular stage. the ore plus I told you no, ore plus coke. Coke also added because carbon is a very good reducing agent. Ore plus coke is added. Coke will react with iron. Coke will react with copper oxide and reduce the copper into molten copper, and the iron will react with silicon impurities to form iron silicate material, that is called your slag. Finally you have to filter, cool down, dried, filter, and you get the value of the, you will get the molten copper. Cool the molten copper, it will contains molten cooling. On cooling the copper, it look like blisters. It look like blister. So blister copper means, blister copper is equal to 98% copper and 2% iron and other impurities. That is called blister copper. Blister copper means 98% iron. This is important, 1 mark. What is blister copper? 98% copper and 2% iron and other impurities called as blister copper. One more thing, copper mate, I already explained to you, Cu2O and iron sulfide, FeS and Cu2O. This mixture, iron sulfide and copper oxide mixture, is called copper mate. We already discussed in the last class. Okay, so this here the reaction I have already explained what happened to iron. Iron sulfate plus oxygen gives iron oxide. This iron oxide will react. This is nothing but roasting. Roasting takes place in the iron sulfate. Then iron oxide react with the flux, acidic flux. This is basic. Iron oxide is basic. Acidic flux, the slag is a neutral compound. So this is the slag formed here. And there is no copper sulfate. Suppose you have Cu2S impurity. I have explained Cu2O how to remove, CuFeS2 how to remove. Now suppose Cu2S is there, means first you have to roast it, you get oxide. Again the oxide will react with copper sulfate, reduces to get molten copper metal. This is called your blister copper, which contains 98% copper, 2% iron and other impurities. Okay, these are the very important terms related to the copper. Now I am going to tell about how zinc is extracted from its ore. Zinc contains the ores are zinc sulfide blend, this zinc blend or spaltite, zinc oxide, then zinc carbonate is called as calamine, ginsite, this is called ginsite. So all those things we have seen in the first page of the textbook. These are the ores of zinc. Now how it is removed from its impurity. Zinc oxide undergoes reduction in presence of coke at 1675 Kelvin. It converts into crude zinc metal plus carbon monoxide. This is the reaction given in the textbook. Zinc oxide is reduced by suitable reducing agent. It is zinc is present in the middle part of the Ellingham diagram, so the temperature is higher, but copper is present at the top. So for reduction, copper needs less amount of temperature. Okay, so this is the easiest method. Same type of diagram is applicable for the zinc reduction also. Here the first question given the textbook, the reaction of chromic oxide reduces. Chromic oxide get reduced by aluminium to get aluminium oxide and chromium. This reaction is possible. Thermodynamically, this reaction is possible. The apparent from Gibbs energy value. Okay, why does not it take place in room temperature? That's the question. Because the answer is because at room temperature. temperature, delta G become positive. If delta G is positive means the reaction is non-spontaneous. So that is why we have to increase the temperature. If we increase the temperature, the delta G will be automatically converted to negative. Then only the reaction is possible. That's the 1 mark question. This is the 1 mark question. The answer is delta G value is positive. The only one word. Because why does not it take place? This is a one metallurgical reaction. Okay. In which condition it is taking place? That's the question. Why does not it take place at room temperature? Because at room temperature delta G become positive, which means non-spontaneous. Reaction is not feasible. So you convert the delta G value into negative means we have to increase the temperature, right? This is the answer for this question. Next question is, is it true that under certain conditions magnesium can reduce aluminum hydroxide? We learned that in the Hellingram diagram, that peak point A in this point intersection, magnesium can reduce the aluminum delta G versus temperature curve. Hellingram diagram. Magnesium can reduce us 1275 Kelvin. Below 1275 Kelvin, the magnesium reduce aluminum oxide at below 1275 Kelvin. Above 1275 Kelvin, magnesium cannot reduce alumina. So okay, what happened in which condition aluminum the reverse? Above 1400 degree Kelvin, aluminum can reduce magnesium oxide. To give Al2O3 Mg. Roughly I am writing how many Mg, 2 Mg moles, 3O3 Mg moles, 3 by 2. Okay. So aluminum can reduce above 1275 degrees Celsius. Only aluminum can reduce the magnesium, because the temperature is low. The magnesium is the lower part, aluminum is higher part. At one stage they mix each other. That part delta G becomes 0. That is called A intersection point. That point magnesium can able to reduce aluminum oxide into aluminum. After that aluminum can reduce magnesium oxide into magnesium. Okay. Here students, the third question, which of the ores mentioned in table 6.1 can be considered by magnetic suppression? We have already discussed the ores, copper ores, iron ores, zinc ores, aluminum ores. We have seen in the first page introduction class. They are asking which are the ores used in magnetic separation method. Magnetic separation method, one thing is iron compounds are very good attraction towards the magnet. So we have to write the iron and its ores. First is hematite ore, and then magnetite ore. Next one is magnetite ore. Next one is siderite ore, and iron pyrites, and copper pyrites. So copper pyrites contains CuFeS2, iron is there. Fe2O3, iron is there. Fe3O4, iron is there. FeCO3, iron is there. FeS2, iron is there. So these are all answer for the third question. If the compound containing iron is one of the compartment, then it is used to separate by concentrated by magnetic separation method. Iron impurities present means iron and non-iron materials are present means they can be separated by magnetic separation method. Next, the third question, what is the significance of leaching in the extraction of aluminum? This already we seen in the leaching part, very important part. Leaching method is used to remove the impurities like sand, silica, iron oxide removing silica, iron oxide and titanium oxide by dissolving it with concentrated sodium hydroxide. Percentage concentration is 45% at a temperature of 473 Kelvin to 523 Kelvin and a pressure of 35 to 36 barometric pressure. Okay, this is the condition, and it is used to remove impurities of aluminum. It is used to prepare aluminium from bauxite ore. Al2O3 to H2O. This is the answer for the fourth question. They ask what is the significance of leaching in the extraction of alumina. The two more question, removing the impurities like silica, iron oxide, titanium oxide by dissolving the ore with concentrated sodium hydroxide. Whenever you mix with concentrated sodium hydroxide, what happens? The ore will be more soluble, so it will be mixed with sodium hydroxide and it will be float. It's skimmed off, and the impurities are sink at the bottom. And during filtration, we can remove the ore from the impurities. And temperature is 475 to 523 because aluminium is a more reactive metal. Therefore, the temperature for melting the temperature is easy. And pressure of 35 to 36 barometer, we can prepare aluminium from bauxite. This is in India, Tamil Nadu. The National Aluminium Research Corporation is there. NALCO, BALCO, Bharat Aluminium Corporation is there. In that NALCO and BALCO they are purifying the aluminium from the crude bauxite by this method. Okay, this is the answer. Thank you, students. Next class we will see. God bless you. You will go through the answers 1 or 2 times. Thank you.